The Skyblivion team showcased a developer diary video during Creation ModCon 2024. The project lead and another team member did a live stream a day later where they showcased gameplay systems. They entered the city of Chorrol, showed us some caves, explored some Ayleid ruins, and spoke about the effort the team has put into the dungeons of Skyblivion. In this video, I will discuss some of my observations from the live stream and also highlight some differences between Skyblivion and Oblivion. So let's get started then, shall we? We start for a very brief time in snowy Bruma. I love the thick patches of snow on the streets and those cute looking gingerbread houses with snow on the roofs. So pretty. The snowy weather effects also look great. Rebel Size, the project lead, who was part of the live stream, showed the Brusef Armelion armor, which is a unique armor set that is found in Armelion Tomb, a medium-sized cave northwest of Leavin. For comparison, here's how it looked in the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. For light armor, it does look beefy. At first glance, I thought this was heavy armor, but the Skyblivion version definitely looks amazing. Sadly, they moved on from Bruma, and for the first time, I see the Skyblivion map. In the north, we have Bruma and Chorrol in the west. We also get a bird's eye view of the magnificent Imperial City at the center. Also, to be noted is that Skyblivion will launch with a paper map and not a 3D map. And apparently, the paper map is almost ready. Hopefully, in the next developer diary, we get to see the paper map. I'm a fan of paper maps, as some of you may have observed in my Skyrim roleplay series that is going on the channel. While 3D maps look spectacular, I love the clarity and simplicity of paper maps. Our character then fast travels to Chorrol. As we enter, we get a glimpse of the magnificent statue, the touch of the healer's hand, in the town of Chorrol, just inside the main gate. Known locally as the Fountain, this statue depicts Saint Osla ministering to the fallen at the sack of Sancretor, a battle during the Tiber Wars that took place in 2E852. This is how it looked in Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. As you can see, there are slight differences with the Skyblivion version. We then walk towards the great oak tree growing in the central plaza. So many memories of walking round and round and around this tree in Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. We have this beautiful stone buildings all around the plaza. I must say, the oak tree plaza looks incredible here in Skyblivion. We have the Mages Guild, the Fighters Guild buildings here, and of course we also have the house for the player, Arbor Watch. This is a house for sale and can be purchased for 20,000 gold from the Countess only if you have a disposition of 70 and a fame of 12. Oh yeah, we need to get used to the unique fame system of Oblivion. We don't see many NPCs in the city as the NPC AI packages and Nammesh work is not complete. That is why many NPCs are stuck inside buildings and are not coming outside. As we walk around, we encounter a scheduled greeting event that gets triggered to occur when the player first visits Chorrol. I love that you can ask every NPCs about rumors. This is similar to Morrowind's rumor dialogue option, where one can learn so much about the game world by talking to NPCs. As you can see on this UESP page, the Oblivion rumor system was incredibly detailed. NPCs spoke to you about the events of the main quest or faction events. They spoke about other NPCs, and even small towns had their own rumors. This rumor system really helped a player understand the game world better. In Skyrim, you can ask bartenders about rumors, and the game forces you to do a Radiant quest. That was an awful system. I hope Skyblivion gets back the rumor system of Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. We then enter the Mages Guild and start the quest by speaking with the local Mages Guild head, Tychius, the head of the Chorrol Guild Hall. He wants you to find out why Iarana, who was expelled from the Mages Guild years ago, has shown up in Chorrol and booked herself a room at the Grey Mare. Her presence here has annoyed him.
She and I have an unpleasant history. She does not care
Rude.
for guild regulations apparently believes I am misusing my powers.
We then find Erana either in the street or outside the hall and talk to her.
So, what say you? Excellent. It's a simple task, really. All you need to do is fetch a book for me. The book is entitled Fingers of the Mount.
So essentially this is a fetch quest, but if we are serious about being part of the Mages Guild, we should inform Tychius about Erana's intentions. And that is what Rebel Sides does. I would have gone directly to the cloud top to get the book and see what the book was all about. So we speak to Tychius and we understand that he too wants this book. And for some reason he can't stand the fact that Erana wants this book. I wonder why Tychius hates Erana so much. I don't think the quest tells us why exactly Tychius hates Erana so much. But anyway, let's see what happens. As we were walking in the city of Chorrol doing this quest, Rebel Size said that many cities in Skyblivion has a complete facelift. But Chorrol's layout was cozy and quaint, so they retained the same layout. The land outside the city has plots of wheat farms and shepherds with sheeps. All of this adds to immersion and a sense of realism to the city exteriors. We then walk on the Colovian highlands and dramatically gain elevation. This area has lots of pine trees and craggy rocks. Rebel Size says there are not many quests that lead the player here, but there is a lot of environment storytelling for explorers and walkers. For example, if we explore under this bridge, we may find something. They finally reach Cloud Top, a ruined fort northwest of Chorrol. Rebel Size says the design of this ruin was inspired by Weathertop from Lord of the Rings. The best part of the tower is a balcony that offers a spectacular view of the Chorrol mountains. The Imperial City can be seen in better weather, and we also get to see the Fall Forest and the city of Chorrol too. For the first time, they have level of detail files, and thus we can see distant objects. They then fast travel to Chorrol and give the book to Erana. This adds 1 fame point to your total fame score, and she asks us to come back after a day to see her again for your reward. At this point, the developers said that all the voice files are not redone by the Skyblivion team. The voice files are copied from the Oblivion game directory. So all of your voice lines in Skyblivion will use the original voices for Oblivion. I thought the Skyblivion team actually had to redo all the voices. Oblivion only had around 10 major voice actors, and that was one criticism as most NPCs use the same voice actor. Team Skywind in comparison has ensured every Morrowind NPC dialogue is voice acted, and they even have some NPCs speaking in Dunmeris. The Skywind team has done a wonderful job with a humongous task of recreating voiceovers for every line of dialogue in Morrowind. Has the Skyblivion team taken the easy way out by reusing Oblivion's voice files? I mean, if the team is putting in so much effort into other areas of the game, they might as well have new voices and a better voiceover system compared to Oblivion. This was a major revelation to me, and let me know what you guys think about this. They then speak to a random NPC at the inn, Valus Odell, who needs your help in assisting his sons reclaim his besieged farm.
My boys will take up the fight, even if the guards won't. Doesn't matter if it's outside the town walls, it still affects us all. They expect me to go with them, but I fear in my old age I'm not the warrior I once was. Would you go in my place?
What an epic voice! Is that Patrick Stewart or Wes Johnson? Okay, I do see the advantage of using Oblivion's voice here. I mean, who can replicate or even match the voice of Patrick Stewart or Wes Johnson, right? Of course, you will listen to this voice hundreds of times, that's when it can get monotonous. I don't know, man, I'm still on the fence here on this voice acting thing. They then speak to the innkeeper, and as you see, we have a menu option called bed. Just bed. That surely is a relic from Morrowind, right? Bet, it's so funny. The devs did say that the leveling system is built from the ground up and will be closer to Skyrim than Oblivion. Also, bandits will level with the player up to a certain level and then they remain at their limit. In the morning, we talked to the sons of Valus Ordil outside Venan Priory, east of the town. We then follow them down the road to their Ordil farm, where there is a battle. During the battle, you can get both the sons killed and fail the mission. And that exactly happens here. Rebel Size is using a two-handed sword called Rugdump's Sword and has an enchantment that absorbs 4 points of speech and silences the target for 5 seconds. The red visual effect you see here is from that enchantment. It is a strange enchantment. Absorb speech during battle? Does it make sense? Silence is a good option against mages, but absorbing speech during battle is very funny. Once the battle is over, they meet Valus Ordil, who's distraught at the news of his son's death, and you don't get any reward. If you manage to keep both the sons alive, you get a unique sword called Chillbrand. This is an interesting side quest where, depending on your actions, there are 2 outcomes. Alright, Pillaged Mine is a medium-sized mine southwest of Chorrol containing goblins. The devs say that the monotony of Oblivion dungeons is gone with lots of unique designs. Rays of sunlight filter through the roof and everything looks spectacular. And soon, goblins start attacking them. This time they use the unique Umbra to defeat the goblins. Just like the Umbra sword in Morrowind, we have a soul trap enchantment in Skyblivion too. As we clear the enemies in the top level, we observe a mine elevator. You can actually press a button and it actually takes you down. Are we seeing rideable elevators in the Elder Scrolls for the first time since Daggerfall? This is one of the cool new additions in Skyblivion. The devs did say that one of the goals for all the mines in Skyblivion is to have an ebony vein hidden in every single mine, where you can find and harvest ebony even at level 1. This encourages exploration, and looking for ebony mine is almost like a mini game. I like it. After clearing the mine of goblins, they enter the elevator once more and ride it back up to the beautiful starting area and then exit Pillaged Mine. On the way to a next cave, Rebel Size did say some nice things about Bethesda, so let's listen.
Also, I just want to quickly mention this, but shout out to Bethesda just because Bethesda has been fantastic to their modding community over the years. They're one of the few companies that let us do everything that you see on screen now, but a whole lot more that other projects and other singular modders are doing. So I just really would like to express my gratitude towards all the original developers and everyone who is running those games and the company behind the scenes now. Really appreciate their support on the Creation ModCon. Appreciate them interviewing us earlier this year, or was it last year? Making time to, you know, make us feel like we're accomplishing something.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, everyone that works on this project does it because they love Oblivion, they love Skyrim, they love Elder Scrolls, and that doesn't happen without Bethesda, so...
Yeah. The only reason we're here is, one, because we're madly in love with the franchise, but also because we're allowed to do this.
Recently, we had a tweet from Bethesda about Skyblivion, and I'm happy Bethesda recognizes Skyblivion, and this was a very nice comment by Rebel Size. Redguard Valley Cave is a small cave between Chorrol and Skingrad containing ogres. It's a unique dungeon that does not have any quest attached to it. The lighting, the atmosphere and the clutter are really nice. So much better than Oblivion dungeons. Rebel Size talks about the issues with Oblivion dungeons. Let's listen.
The one thing I so dislike about Oblivion is that it had hundreds of dungeons, and most of those dungeons, they were like 5 cells long, and it was just one quarter after the other. You're walking through a dungeon for 30 minutes just to walk through another level for 30 minutes, another level for 30 minutes, and then at the end you had to basically crawl all the way back, because unlike in Skyrim, there was no easy way to go back to the start, which It's a little bit unfortunate.
Yeah, definitely. Dungeons in Oblivion were extremely repetitive, and I'm so happy the Skyblivion team is taking so much care to create unique dungeons with lots of atmosphere, clutter, and it all adds up to a great experience. Once they cleared the Redguard Valley cave, then they moved on to another cave. Haynote Cave is a medium-sized cave between Imperial City and Skingrad containing bandits and animals. We enter the cave and face some Daggerfall rats. I love the skylight in Skyblivion dungeons. Apparently these skylights are a feature in many of these dungeons. Rebel Size did show off some 3D models of potions that were designed back in 2016. The developer who made it is not with the team, but her work is still in the game. Haynote Cave is an example of a small dungeon that makes exploration fun and rewarding. Rebel Size did say that there are larger labyrinthian dungeons too. Awesome, I'm really excited to explore all of these Skyblivion dungeons. We then visit a medium-sized Ayleid ruin between Imperial City and Skingrad, and this Ayleid ruin contains conjures. As we reach the Ayleid ruin and deal with these conjures, Rebel Size said that he wants Skyblivion to have its own Steam page like Enderal, but he will need to have discussions with Bethesda on that. They'd also say that every region will have its own style of Ayleid ruins. So in the Heartlands, you will find Ayleid ruins that resemble those that are found in Oblivion. In the region around Blackwood, we find ruins that are totally overgrown by forests. In the Gold Coast region, you will find sand and dust chipping away at Ayleid ruins, and in the cold regions, you will find snow and ice within these ruins. The repetitive visuals and feel of Oblivion's Ayleid ruins were a big issue, and I'm so glad the Skyblivion team has worked on changing that. Rebel Size did also mention that they were trying to integrate cave aspects into Ayleid ruins, so we go in and out of cave passageways with Ayleid architecture, which makes it more interesting and fun to explore. This is something similar to what we have with Vema ruins in Skyrim.
Where are you?
Where'd he go? Perfect.
They end the stream by staring at the Imperial City, and Rebel Size said that soon we will have an Imperial City showcase, and he said it's going to be something special. So I just can't wait. So with that, we come to the end of this month's Skyblivion update. We have Dreamtime. These are some of my favorite screenshots from the stream. I shall see you next month for another Skyblivion update. Thank you so much, and may the divines watch over you.